Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Bert's Bike. Today I'm going to take a look at the 2023 Indian Sport Chief and just give you my thoughts about it. Being a Chief owner myself, I just want to go to Indian's website and see what they got cooking and give you my initial thoughts on this motorcycle. Let's jump into it. Okie dokie, let's go to Indian Motorcycle. Alright, so here we are. So at first glance, the Sport Chief looks pretty great. Actually, same exhaust, 116 engine, got the fairing on here, which looks really great in my opinion. Looks like you got some risers on the motorcycle. Looks like you got slightly different wheels than the Dark Horse model, but you have dual disc brakes. Looks pretty awesome. And then looks like you have a different seat. And then inverted front forks and some Fox shocks on the back. And it looks to be a little higher too, which is something I want to do to my motorcycle, is to lift the rear end probably 2 inches. That looks like about an inch. All right. So let's scroll down here. Meet the family. So you got the Chief. I like that desert tan color. Looks pretty great. The Sport Chief, the Chief Bobber, and the Super Chief. Interesting thing here is they're positioning the Super Chief as being the most desirable one. It is definitely the one that is engineered for the most comfort out of the box, in my opinion, with the really tall windshield and the bags and passenger seat already. But a lot of guys that buy this bike, what I've been noticing, even guys who got the Super Chief, end up getting an aftermarket seat anyway. So that's another, $600 investment or so, depending on what aftermarket seat you get. I mean, you can get, anywhere from the $250 range to the Solo Saddleman to something really exotic if you want. But the bags alone here, the Indian bags are about $1,000. Then you have to get the mounting spools as well. So, okay, so let's get to the heart of the situation. Sport Chief, here we go. All right, $18.99. So right away, that price is looking pretty great. The base Chief is $14.99. Chief Dark Horse is $17.99. So 15, 16, 17, 18, $3,000 gets you the engine upgrade, which it's a nice engine. And then the Sport Chief, that's really $1,000 difference between the Chief Dark Horse and the Sport Chief. So if you are looking in the 116 range, in the 116 engine range, the Sport Chief seems like a no-brainer to me. I mean, even if you don't like the fairing, you could sell that and just pocket some of that money. Because the number one thing I think you're looking at here is the suspension upgrade. So I've been riding motorcycles for a few years, but I've owned about 10 to 11 motorcycles. I've owned a handful of motorcycles, and the number one thing that's going to keep you on the bike for longer is how good the ride is. And the upgraded suspension, in my book, is worth $1,000. Like, if they just had the Chief Dark Horse with the upgraded suspension, I think I would just pay the $1,000 to get the upgraded suspension, because I'm not sure if the front are Fox shocks at all, but they're inverted front forks, and the Fox shocks look to be really nice. So in my opinion, that's the number one thing that you should be looking at. Forget the styling. It's just you're getting what seems like a superior suspension, so that would be a win in my book. However, if you are in the sub $16,000 camp, $15,500, I think the base Chief is still a great deal. Really, the base models, the 111 engines, are the only ones you can get without ABS. Now, there are some riders out there who would want the Sport Chief without ABS to really take advantage of, sliding the back around or not. So I don't know if you can turn that off on the other models with the ride command. I feel like you can, but Maybe somebody can confirm that in the comments below. Can you turn off the ABS and traction control or whatever the heck on the 116 engines? Right off the bat, if you're in the 116 camp, I think the Sport Chief has just got to be the one. However, if you are just, really love the Super Chief and the spoked wheels and all that kind of stuff, in my opinion, the Chief Bobber just isn't different enough to even consider. But that's just my 2 cents there. So in my opinion, the Chief Dark Horse Bobber isn't even going to be a consideration if I were shopping in the 116 engine category. The Sport Chief would be where it's at. I love bikes with fairings on them, especially if they look good. The only thing about the fairing is that I kind of wish that this top part here, let's see if I can get a better picture. Yeah, this top part kind of like flowed a little bit with the lines of the bike, but as I keep looking at it, so you kind of get this line that goes up here and down the bike. Cool. But I think that looks really good. So it's going to be hard to find a fairing that looks as good or better than that. You'll probably be able to find a cheaper one for sure. I mean, if you were to buy this fairing, you don't only need the fairing, you need the shield as well. So you got to pay $600 for the fairing, another couple hundred for the shield, and then you need the mounting hardware. So, which will bring you to about $1,000. So it's quite a pricey upgrade for, essentially aesthetics. I mean, this quarter fairing, it'll do some wind protection, but it's not gonna really block it off of your face. It basically takes it off of your chest, which could be enough for some people. The weird thing about the fairing is that it comes with, if you're looking at the accessories, it comes with a set of turn signals as well. So I'm not sure why you need to replace the turn signals, but maybe the new turn signals have different mounts or something, so we'll kind of see. One thing I think they should have done on this model was, maybe have, maybe like a different looking exhaust, but, most people are going to take that off anyway, so that's probably where they're like, eh. Yeah, let's look at this. Fox rear shocks, KYB inverted front forks. Okay, so I hope that there is a KYB option for the front, because I will probably buy those and put them on my bike, but a non-inverted version, because I don't want to have to, reconstruct the whole bike. But if the mounts are cheap enough, I might do that. The risers are nice, getting that sort of like West Coast style, bars up here. Brembo dual disc brakes. Yeah, if you are gonna be riding the Chief like they do in the promo video, sliding it around and doing burnouts and stuff like that, and really pushing the bike and getting after it, Brembos are going to be a very nice thing to have, especially with the dual front discs. Yeah, 116 engine, can't go wrong. Ride command. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my thing about motorcycles with all the gadgets on them. So it's just something else to go wrong with your motorcycle or whatever. So I just don't really love a bunch of tech on motorcycles. Yeah, I just don't. I know a lot of guys, are wondering whether you can switch the ride command on the 111 if that's an upgrade, because I don't know if the information on the bike is stored in the cluster or somewhere else. Be interesting if you can drop a ride command into a 111 engine Chief. So one thing I want to know, if there's any differences in the way the engine is tuned, or stuff I've seen. It looks like there's none, but I'm going to double check here. 946, 47, yeah. Okay, so it looks like it's the same exact engine. So let's wrap it up. So what do we love about this Sport Chief? I love the styling, I love the fairing, I love the dual disc brakes, basically all the upgraded components. So you're basically looking at a Chief Dark Horse that has been upgraded. So $1,000 difference between Dark Horse and Sport Chief. Sport Chief all the way for me. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this, because as cool as this bike looks with the fairing on here, I mean, forget the fairing for a second. The suspension upgrades alone are going to cost you, I would say $2,500 or more. it would be a $5,000 upgrade. I'm just guessing to get it to this point from any of the models look-wise. But the number one thing you're getting, in my opinion, is the suspension. The second thing you're getting would be the fairing. So if you love that look of the fairing, I like it a lot. If I was in the 116 category, I would just, you know, get the fairing all day long. Even if you're not in that category, man, like there's a lot of guys who own a Chief already that would love to have some of these components. So, you know, I'm sure guys would swap you and or even pay you money for the fairing and your risers and all that kind of stuff. So, if you if you're wanting basically a Chief Dark Horse with just the suspension upgrade and the seat, I mean, I'd just buy the Sport Chief and you could get that $1,000 right back. You could sell that fairing for about $600 with the mounting hardware, whatever. Meet up with your buddy who has one and just... So overall, I think it's a wonderful addition to the Chief line. I think it's something that if I had known it was there, I might have splurged for it, just to get all the upgrades in the one thing that I would want as a rider. However, the one thing I think they should have come out with is a 111 version. A Chief 111 Sport, I think, would have been great. Because for guys like me that like a more bare bones motorcycle, that don't want the iPad or touch screen on their bikes, that just want to, you know, get on there and ride and not look at that kind of stuff, I think they should have done a Chief 111 Sport. Would be awesome. That's what I wish. But, you know, I know what they're doing here. But overall, I think it's a wonderful addition. I think it is worth getting the Sport Chief if you are in the 116 category, unless there's just something about you know, the Super Chief and the Bobber that just really floats your fancy. I just think that the Sport Chief is quite the deal for $1,000 more. So if I had to do it over and all these models were out, I would probably still buy the base Chief just because that's where my budget was at, and I don't really like stretching my budget. I think if I had the cash, obviously I'd go with the Sport Chief. But if you're on a budget and can't really stretch it to the, what is it, $9,000 plus dealer fees plus, you know, freight and all that stuff and dock fees and all that kind of stuff, the base Chief is still quite the deal. However, if you are going to go 116 engine anyway, I would go for the Sport Chief all day long. Yeah. As usual, Indian knocks it out of the park with the styling of the bike and all that stuff. It just, what a great bike. All right, so one thing I just want to say is that we are at 977 subscribers, so almost at 980. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. We're only 23 people away from the channel getting to 1,000 subscribers, so thanks so much for that, and really appreciate it. Alright guys, this is Bert's Bike. Thanks so much for tuning in. Leave your comments below. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.